opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, I request that you allow me to invite the governor. He wants to say something. We commit to confine ourselves within the 30 minutes you've given us.
Very well.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, sir, and the honorable senators. First of all, I appreciate this sitting. And as the lead counsel of the Assembly has indicated, we're here to celebrate the Katiba Day, a very important promulgation by our president. As I stand before you, Mr. Speaker, I wish just to indicate some few observations. Number one is that a PO already addition has been made on the same. And as to reflect on the National Day, the bigger question that will be advancing in this discourse as we move forward as to whether there were proper impeachment or not at the county assembly. I say this with a lot of conviction as the governor of the great county of Kericho. That's number one. The items that has been tabled before the great Senate today, that is the report, the ad hoc report on the NAFCDB program, the ad hoc report on the FLOCA program, the ad hoc report on the fictitious payment. The role of a governor is to instill discipline where necessary. I wish to state before the honorable senators with a lot of humility that the report on the fictitious payment was handed to me by the county assembly after my impeachment has been tabled by the county assembly. They asked me to act on it after they have tabled my impeachment. On these recommendations that we are going to look at it, much of it, including the pictures that we have seen here of houses and many others, the good committee had indicated that let the CEOs be punished by the Public Service Board. But the impeachment has already been tabled before I even got the report. Mr. Speaker, the conversation on the FLOCA programs and other ad hoc reports were tabled right after my impeachment, and the reports were equally given to me after my impeachment motion. The big question I'll ask the Senate, Mr. Speaker, naturally, how then would the governor acted on the state officers when an impeachment motion has been tabled first, then now the reports are given to him? I say this to demonstrate the malice in the County Assembly of Kericho. We were here last year, Mr. Speaker, because these honorable senators, the great upper house, indicated that the numbers were not 32. The assembly led by the speaker in his own wisdom decided to manufacture the 3, just add one number so that they can be heard in this assembly. And I say, fair well enough, we will be here to listen to these judges and be able to demonstrate any of our wrongdoing. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, sir, on the question of Londiani, which is an emotional wiping statement and wiping emotions, this was the same impeachment that was brought in this house last year. The governor has no role whatsoever in creating committees that run funerals. We will be demonstrating, Mr. Speaker, that this committee was run by the county secretary and the county commissioner, which since then, the county secretary is no longer in office. The officers that were mentioned, most of them are no longer in office. But we'll also be able to demonstrate to this Senate that already a ruling has been made by the court indicating that no funds were lost. The same item has been brought to the Senate again for debate. Fourthly, Mr. Speaker, because of time, is that what is happening in Kericho is a well-orchestrated conspiracy, political conspiracy, to remove the governor of Kericho. One is for political interest and political expedition. Because you are seated there as the speaker of this great house. At the county assembly, we also have a speaker whose interest is one, to be the governor of Kericho County. How then do you become the governor? Impeach the governor, make it easy for you, and probably along the way, impeach also the deputy governor, and sit in as both the governor and the deputy governor, and the governor and the speaker of the assembly, so that out of the 10 years he served as the CEC of Kericho in charge of finance and as CEC in charge of roads, will be able to execute what he never accomplished. We'll be able to demonstrate that as we make our discourse. What I just wanted to say from my heart, and somebody was asking me, why did you choose to make this statement like last time? In the assembly, in the last impeachment, I told them, and I reminded them of the great works and the great writings of Dostoevsky in Crime and Punishment. And these are my last words. That Raskolnikov, after killing Alyona, the old-born lady, proceeded and realized that there was somebody witnessing called Lizaveta. Because of the urge to murder and kill, he went ahead to kill Lizaveta. I then implored upon the County Assembly of Kericho, let us not just create blood for blood's sake. I also said at that time with a lot of remorse and humility, that in tragedy of Macbeth, Shakespeare, when Macbeth, the great lady, told the husband that King Duncan, you can kill King Duncan and you become the king yourself. And remember that Macbeth was a cousin to King Duncan. Macbeth was reluctant to kill King Duncan. But along the way, the evil spirits possessed her. And in her watch, he says, come ye gods and sex me, that I may be a man and kill King Duncan. Indeed, Macbeth went ahead to vanquish King Duncan. Not because he wanted to kill, but because of the drive for murder. Thereafter, he went ahead to vanquish every other witness that was at the court in his quest to become the king. My imploration to the County Assembly of Kericho at that time was that much as we have political aspiration, let us resist the temptation of political murder for us to get what we want. We are here in a process that was faulty, and the whole world must know that as it is, there was no impeachment of Kericho. And I know, Honorable Speaker, because the upper house will always make correct decisions at the appropriate time, I beseech of you, Mr. Speaker, and the honorable senators, that as we deal with this matter, we separate between the responsibility of the governor and the responsibility of the CEOs. Some of them that will be brought here to adduce evidences are former CECs of Kericho County. Some of them were mentioned in the Londiani scandal. Out of it, I was able to release some of them out of work. Today, I'm being in Senate, being asked that you sack some people procedurally, while some of those names that will be testifying here are the same names that were active in the so-said Londiani scandal. Some of them were presiding over Kazim Tahani. Today, they are seated here also, probably being aligned as advocates after we release them. We are in a case of history as celebrated Katiba Day, to ask ourselves that to what extent is political persuasion and political desire compared to morality, compared to the rights of an individual. And as the governor of Kericho, I'm here under your mercy, Mr. Speaker, and the senators, so that you'll also help me to get justice in an individual because of the injustices, because of the wrong allegations that have been bestowed on me, while the governor has completely nothing to do with even signing of a voucher, has nothing to do with authorizing payments. My commitment has been simple. The officers that are found culpable of wrongdoings, the law will then follow its case. Out of this, Mr. Speaker, I call then for your consideration deeply, and the Honorable Church has said it here, on the matters that will be laid on us, so that the people of Kericho County get justice, while at the same time also the governor of Kericho get justice that he so deserves. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and may God bless this great Senate, and we put all our trust and hope in this very good upper Senate that over time has proven that it does things in an appropriate way and uphold the Constitution. Thank you so much.
Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable senators, the first issue I wish to address is our insistence on the preliminary objection we raised earlier on. We take on board the directions and the guidance given by the Speaker. We will adduce evidence of the 18 MCAs who did not vote, and we maintain that indeed this motion should not be here because the total optimum number of MCAs who could have possibly voted in favor of this motion could have been 29. And we are not saying that 29 necessarily are voted. We are saying that the results that were brought here were manipulated. And so that would be the first item in terms of my opening address. The second issue I wish to contend with Mr. Speaker sir, and honorable senators is we contest the allegation or the contention that the governor is of bad behavior. It is our argument that the governor is a victim of political machinations, especially at the instance of the Speaker of the County Assembly. Mr. Speaker, sir, it will be our case that the law provides for responsibility for every individual in all the cases that the County Assembly, through my learned friend Mr. Ngoya, has identified. Whether it is a case of signing of the contracts, whether it is a case of payment, whether it is a case of procurement, whether it is a case of fictitious payment, there are people who the law has assigned responsibility for, and none of those situations touch on the governor. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is our argument that the nearest you could come to hold the governor responsible in a fair situation is if it were to be the case that indeed the improprieties have been brought to his attention, he has been afforded an opportunity to act, and he has chosen not to act. And it is our case in this situation that the reports, the impeachment motion was hijacked by the mover of the motion even before the various ad hoc reports had properly landed at the County Assembly. It will also be noted when we eventually come to the case that each of those ad hoc reports made recommendations for actions to be taken by various aspects of the County Assembly. Where it touches on the CECs, it is the governor to act. Where it touches on CEOs, it is the public service, the county service board to act. And there are instances also where recommendations have been made for even EACC to act. And so as it were, Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable senators, it is our argument that we were not afforded an opportunity to act, and responsibility of the governor could only attend his inaction if he had been afforded an opportunity to act. Now, we are prepared to accept that if it were to be the case that there is a very pervasive and rampant improprieties at the county, you could start wondering whether the governor has put in place proper mechanism. It is our argument that keeping away the emotional way the issues have been put, and we are not belittling the amount that has been lost, we are not belittling the issues that have been raised, we are only saying that it is not true that it is as rampant as it has been alleged. When you critically look at both the amounts involved and the incidences in the face of the size and the turnover of Kericho County. We are not belittling it, but we are saying that these incidences have been blown completely out of proportion, and that they do not indicate in any way either complicity or inaction on the part of the governor. We would also like to indicate, and we will adduce evidence on this point, that much as the governor was taken through the process of impeachment at the County Assembly and came to learn of the reports subsequently, he has already forwarded some of those aspects of those reports to EACC, and the EACC is already taking action on some of those issues. It just goes to show how proactive and interested he is in making sure there is accountability for public resources, and the extent to which the description of him as having bad behavior is very far from the truth of the situation. Now, my learned friend has also singled out a number of issues. Let me start with the retention money, because that's the one he multiple times referred to. He says in all the instances that payment was made in previous regime and then another payment was made in this regime. It brings us back to the basis and the root cause of this case. Being this argument we made at the County Assembly and we'll be making here, that these allegations are rooted in the political ambition and interest of the Speaker of the County Assembly. And the basis of that, Mr. Speaker, sir, is that these allegations of retentions have been paid in the previous regime, where at the instance of this, the Speaker, the current Speaker when he was in charge of finance, and proper investigation as to whether there was previous payment and a subsequent payment in this regime, Mr. Speaker, sir, is an issue which is a witness and has an interest in. Our position is that we deny, and we were entitled to more time to look at it and address that issue, Mr. Speaker, sir. But we are emphasizing the extent to which the Speaker in the County Assembly would go out of his way to generate and fabricate a case against the governor. On the issue of Londiani, Mr. Speaker, sir, we would like to invite the attention of these honorable senators that the allegation on Londiani we contest on two dimensions. The first one is that it was part of the allegations which you threw away in September 2024. They have been brought back. And that is contrary to the provisions of Standing Order number 70A, which prohibits reintroduction of previously highlighted allegations. That's the first issue we wish to take up on that issue of Londiani. The second issue we wish to take up on this issue of Londiani is that the allegation against the governor is that he failed to act on a report that had been given to him by the County Assembly. We would like to bring to your attention, honorable senators, and we will point out to you that that report of the County Assembly was stayed by the court. The court said no action can be taken on that report because of the impropriety with which it was made and the malice with which it was made, and therefore it cannot be right to say that the court, having found that no action should be taken by the governor, he should now be brought here for impeachment. Then there is the issue of private property and the emotional play of the video where they said governor was in gumboots. We would like to point out again that that allegation was in the previous complaint in September 2024, which you threw away, and understanding order number 70A, it should not be brought back. But secondly, my learned friend Mr. Ongoya has said that that was invading private property. He then went on to say that it has been determined by court. Honorable senators, we will surprise you when we get to that judgment where we will show you that there is no determination that that is private property. It is the position of Kericho County government that indeed that property is public property and remains public property. The nearest that the court determined in that case was that there was need to have proper NEMA certifications before dumping could be done there. There was no determination that it belongs to the person who had complained. The nearest that was made was that it needs to, that the property should not have been used for dumping before certification has been issued. And for those reasons, honorable senators and Mr. Speaker, sir, we pray that in the course of this trial, we will show that this impeachment motion, number one, doesn't meet the threshold for it to stand here. Number two, that the allegations have been overstated, they have been exaggerated. And number three, that quite a number of them are not true. I would, within the time that I still have, I would like my learned friend, Mr. Wanyama, to say something.
Just a minute before he sits down. I forgot to indicate, Mr. Speaker, sir, that